Hey everybody, welcome to It's Getting Late. My name is FamCam, and oh my god, we have one of the coolest people on the planet. You don't even have to get to know him to know that. You could just see it right away. We have ASMR Destiny. He is a true OG in the ASMR community, and his level of innovation, as you can see right in front of you, is next level. You go to his YouTube channel, you go to his Twitch channel, you're going to be taken to a whole nother world. But without further ado, please welcome our special guest, Mr. ASMR Destiny. How you doing, Aaron?
Hey everybody, it's a pleasure to be here, and yeah, um, it's been a pretty amazing road to get to where I'm at, especially with streaming and my room, especially, which I get a lot of questions on, like, oh my God, how long did it take you to make your room? And
Oh yeah,
like,
you're gonna
and
get more questions of that in the next hour or so. But you know what? Why don't
yeah,
we start with that? How long did it take you to make this room?
it's pretty much been a work in progress. I think I went through a couple phases. So when I
Mhm.
started out, I just had like a couple lights in the back, right? And I think I have an old photo of that maybe around sticking around here. But um, over time, it was kind of like, what kind of style, do I want to present on, especially for live streaming? Because basically, this whole room was just built out just for live streaming.
Mhm.
Um, I I was like, okay, I want to have like a real space, and not go like the green screen route, which I could have done, but then I wouldn't have, I wouldn't be able to have this like moving camera either. I wanted to have multiple cameras and have them moving around and everything.
Yeah.
Um, so I wanted to have like like a real space, and so yeah, I built out some lights, and then I was like, you know what, I really like the light thing, and I like synthwave and futuristic and neon and Tron and all that. So it's so it's like,
It does give off great Tron
yeah,
vibes.
yeah. You can't see it yet, but on the other side here, I have a Tron disc and the like light cycle, kind of like the little handle that you can like take apart and make into like a light cycle. But um, so yeah, basically going for the Tron synthwave vibe and just started building everything out, and everything comes from like all over the world. Like half the stuff you can't get on Amazon. Believe me, I looked on Amazon. um, and for example, actually, this neon synthwave light here in the back,
Hmm.
that actually came from a creator in Ukraine. Actually, like
Really?
a few things came from Ukraine. And they have a lot of really awesome creators over there. And just
Yeah.
in Europe in general, there's a lot of stuff that actually comes from overseas, from overseas creators on Etsy. So that actually answers the question, like, where did you get your stuff? Well, half the stuff is from Etsy creators. They have a lot of unique, people on there that are just making all sorts of really awesome stuff. And so I'd say Amazon was maybe only like 10% of my lights, and everything else was like
Hmm.
from Etsy or like random other places. Even Alibaba, was a few, a couple of pieces, and yeah, I just kept building and building and building until basically like I don't really have much space anymore. So I'm kind of like I kind of like stopped buying things for now, and am just letting things settle, and plus it costs a lot of money. So
Oh, totally. I
yeah.
remember one time in particular, you had to tell somebody in the chat, "I'm not rich."
Right.
Like,
Right. They
and
always they always ask you that, right? It's like, "Oh my
yeah,
God, you must be rich." And I'm like, "No, I just have a
I
job."
actually get that a lot too, mostly from Carol ASMR. It's become a meme how often she tells me I'm rich. I'm not.
I know, it's
But
like all you need is like a job, and like just obviously you're gonna
I
devote some of those
I
funds
just I just
to
live in a very high cost area, the Bay Area. I
right,
probably would be rich if I lived somewhere else.
right. Yeah, totally. So it's been I've been fortunate to be able to like just, devote, some some money and like time to like try to build this thing out, and this is pretty much what it became right now. So I'm really loving it, and pretty much everyone kind of like teases like, what are you gonna put next? Like smoke and fire and
I
lasers and
would
stuff like
love
that.
to see some fog machines. that
I
that would be
I've
killer.
I've I've been looking. I looked into the feasibility of fire and smoke and lasers. But yeah, that's gonna, I don't know, maybe for like something special. So maybe for like my 1000th stream or something, I'll just unveil a whole like Kiss concert in here or something, right?
I'd be up for that. I will put on my Gene Simmons makeup for that
There you
event,
go.
even though I'd be off camera, I'd be just watching. Maybe I could do like a little react video with my jeans, right?
Right, there you
So
go.
that the makeup doesn't
There you
go to
go.
waste. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, totally.
That'd be amazing. But
Yeah.
speaking of all that, last night, as of the time we recorded this, I tuned in. Oh, happy ASMR day, by the way. Right now, as we're
Yes.
recording this, it is ASMR day. But last night, at the time of recording this, I tuned into your stream and fell asleep to that while you were showing a bunch of old videos with a bunch of cool different things you did. And one thing that really stood out to me was the firecrackers. You want to talk about that video a little bit?
I did a couple of sparkler videos in the
Yeah.
past, just as like something totally different, right? And the first time I did it inside of my studio. Oh my God, I was so nervous, right? And it's like, okay, like I'm not the kind of person to like totally get in there and like, wreck my mics for something, right? Or my camera, like like a lot of people, will totally like goo up, the 3D IO head,
Oh yeah.
earphones, these things, and just like I'm surprised these things take all the ASMR abuse that they take from everybody, but
Yeah.
like for me, I was like, okay, I gotta be careful. Like I don't want to start a fire, and so I did it, and I didn't burn down the house.
We didn't
Um,
start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning.
right, right,
Had
right,
to.
right.
But ages ago, I saw a slime video that ASMR Darling did, and she pointed out that if you want your slime not to be so sticky and grimy and mic ruiny, my own words, um,
Yeah, like
she add borax to them, and I've been meaning to do that for literally years. The slime
ah,
I have and never got to that, so maybe saying that in this video will commit me to do it, publicly commit me to do it, so that I can use
there
slime
we
again.
go. The secrets of ASMR creators: how to not destroy your microphones.
Exactly, exactly. Although slime on a mic with plastic wrap between the slime and the mic is one of the best things
Ooh.
ever. I
That I've not done.
Yeah, I highly recommend that. I think I did a video doing that. It's been a while, but
Yeah.
I digress. Let's talk about your background in ASMR. How did you first discover it?
Yeah, so all my life I've had migraines. So ever since probably since I was like 12 or 13 years old. And eventually I looked up migraine remedies online, and I came across this video from Gentle Whispering, Maria,
Yeah.
um, for migraine help or something, or like relaxation. And so I watched it, and that was actually the first time I discovered that what I had as far as the tingling feeling in my head goes was ASMR. That it
Hmm.
was actually called something first off. So
Yeah.
that's yeah. So that's how I actually discovered the word ASMR and what it meant, and that it applied to me because I I totally got like head tingles and stuff from all sorts of things that, when I was younger, and just didn't realize what it was. Usually just watching like Bob Ross, painting on TV, of course, like a lot of other people kind of, discover when they were younger. And I watched it. I immediately got like tingles and everything like that, and I was like, "Oh my God, like I can watch a video like this and totally get like ASMR, from it." So I actually started watching ASMR um, religiously, pretty much like for the next like year, and that's how I discovered other ASMR artists. Like Heather Feather, all the
Hmm.
OG ASMRs back in the day. ASMR requests, massage ASMR, I believe Dimitri,
Yeah.
and other ones back in the day. And I was like, after about 6 months, my migraine started going away.
Oh, good. Glad to hear that.
I had them religiously for like every month. I would get at least like a couple every month, like all the time, and then they started skipping months after watching ASMR. So I was like, hey, this thing is really helping or doing something to me. Um, and so I was like, hey, I want to kind of give back to the community as well. And I've already been into like videography and stuff, even like back then. I have like over like a right now it's like 23 years of videography experience. Um,
Wow.
and yeah, I started when I was really young, and um, I wanted to bring something kind of like new, I guess. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, back then there wasn't many people doing it anyway, but I wanted to bring my own take on ASMR, and so since I had a background in videography, I wanted to kind of like first off focus on like really clear audio first off without uh, background noise, because a lot of videos back in those days didn't really have a lot of like audio processing going on, so they had a lot of
Right.
audio background noise.
A
So I
lot of
really
them
wanted to
still
focus
do.
oh yeah, of course. But back then it was even worse, right? Like the people were just like recording with whatever they had, and then just putting it up there, right?
Yeah.
um I'm not saying it was bad or anything, but that was basically the quality you could expect back in the day, especially.
Yeah.
Um, so I focused on like really getting clear audio and working on like cleaning that up. Um, so yeah, if you go back to my even earliest videos, they'll be pretty much perfectly clear. Um, and I also didn't show my face
That's right. You
either.
were saying that the other night.
Yeah, when I
That
first
blew my
started,
mind.
yeah, I didn't show my face because basically I was like, okay, well, if I show my face, I'm gonna get less views because I'm a male ASMR artist.
Hmm.
So that was my reasoning back then, right?
Yeah.
Um, so I just want people to just enjoy the sounds, not really know which gender I am, and just kind of leave that as a mystery, right? So,
Right.
um,
I that was a thought I had after I already have shown my face. I showed my
wait a second,
I showed my face on day one because I'm an idiot. No, but
yeah.
yeah, a lot of great ASM artists didn't show their face at first, and now they show their face. Perfect examples: you, my
Yeah.
ASMR and fast ASMR. All of you didn't show your face at first, and now are very recognizable when you see him online.
Oh yeah,
It's really
yeah,
fascinating.
and when and I think last night when I was showing off my old videos, uh, we did click on the first one where I showed my face, and in the comments it was like, "Wow, we finally have like a face to the face to the audio," and it was actually really great.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's just something I started out doing, and then eventually I was like, if I want to really grow the channel, I have to show my face, right? I have to be a person, you
Yeah,
know.
it really is easier to grow when people see you, because people come to particular channels for personalities, and it's really hard to express that without showing your face. There are a few
Yeah.
ASMR artists that have blown up despite never showing their face. I guess it really depends on what you do. Some channels do better when they're a lot more focused on the triggers themselves, and people get sort of a science museum vibe to it. There's a science museum in San Francisco called the Exploratorium. I talk about it all the time because to me, looking at it now, it feels like an ASMR playground. I never really thought of
Mm.
it that way as a kid, of course, because ASMR wasn't officially a thing in those days. But it has a lot of the exhibits give off the same vibes as a lot of ASMR channels do, including yours, in my opinion.
Mm.
So if you're
That's really
anybody,
cool.
if you're anybody watching this, if you're ever in the San Francisco area and you like ASMR, go check out the Exploratorium. You will not regret it. It is amazing.
That reminds me of that like ASMR um, experience in I think it was like in New York that like opened up a few years back, something like that,
Oh,
and
really?
yeah, there was like an actual place where you could get like a head massage and or like an ear cleaning or something if you wanted to,
That's so
and
cool.
I remember, yeah, I believe it was in New York, and what they do is that they meet you, if I remember right, they meet you on the street at some random corner, and then I think they blindfold you, and then they like lead you to the location. So it's actually like a secret location for some reason. I'm not sure why. And then yeah, you basically can choose like if you want like a scalp massage or just like sounds or even someone doing inaudible whispering around your head. Like I was like, wow, that's cool. I want to do that.
That sounds really
Uh,
amazing. If I remember, I've never been to New York to be honest, but when I go, I'm definitely checking that out because that sounds
yeah,
amazing.
I hope it's still around. It was actually quite a few years ago, so I hope
Uh,
it's still around. Yeah.
yeah, hopefully. So, as I previously mentioned, you are an OG in ASMR. You've been doing ASMR for a really long time. Um, what are some things that changed in the ASMR genre and the ASMR community that really stand out to you, good or bad or neutral?
Yeah. Um, so first off, it's really been great to see the massive explosion, right, of the ASMR genre just in general.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think I remember a few years back it was like the number one either searched. I think it was the number one search topic on Google a few years back, and of course, like when that happens, like now like corporate tries to get in, get on it, right? So
Yeah, there
there
was
was
the
like,
Zoe Kravitz Super Bowl ad.
right, the Super Bowl ad. I think that really kind of like pushed things, over the top. Obviously,
Totally.
uh, there, IKEA, did some
Oh
videos,
yeah, I remember
right?
those.
I think there was a Burger King video. I think Burger King tried to do something.
I
Um,
think I heard about that one, but I don't remember seeing it.
yeah, and like Pokemon also
Really?
got into it. Yeah, if you go to the Pokemon channel on YouTube, they have um yeah, they actually have like it's like a 20-minute video of just Pikachu in a room, and Pikachu is running around, and it's all binaural audio. So
Oh,
if you wear headphones, you can hear Pikachu like running around you,
that's so awesome.
and it's just like a static camera, so you're just looking at like a room, and sometimes Pikachu will just like, hey, like Pika, right, and like sit here and like look at you and throw a ball and run back out of frame, but then you just hear him running around, right, and it's just like a 20-minute video, just that. I'm like,
That is
I'm like, okay,
amazing. I'm
I'm like,
definitely
wow,
gonna
that's
watch
cool,
that.
yeah. Um, so it's been really it's it's been really interesting to me to see how it's been growing because it was such like just a really tiny like thing that was out there that nobody really knew about. And honestly, like, I think still so many people don't really know what it is really.
Mm.
Um, right? I mean with anything, right? They they uh hear about it and then maybe like see something about it that may or may not actually represent truly what it is,
Yeah.
right? And then they get
I
maybe
call
the
that the
wrong
Wii
impression
U.
of it,
I call
right?
that the Wii U syndrome, where
That we use.
the Wii U syndrome because a lot of people to this day still think it's an add-on to the original Wii and
Oh
not
my
know that it's a
okay.
console, and that's a big reason why it didn't do
Oh
so well sales wise, which is a shame because it was a fantastic platform.
yeah, yeah. The possibilities for the Wii U actually were pretty awesome, especially um, this is just gonna be a side a side tangent.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they created the what was that horror game Fatal Frame, I think,
Never heard of that
for
one.
the Wii U, and the game Fatal Frame. The whole premise is that you have a camera that you take pictures of ghosts and you capture their spirits.
Really?
And I believe on the Wii U they made a version of that, and they used the Wii controller as the camera.
Oh,
So you have to actually hold it up and look around your room for the ghost, and then you can take the picture and capture, right? And it was a perfect use case for the Wii U, controller right there.
totally.
Um,
I need to pick
yeah,
that
but
one up if I
yeah,
can still
yeah,
find it because that sounds awesome.
that's it's a very scary game. So
I love that. I'm
um,
here for it.
yeah, very scary. But yeah, basically the and it's also been great for creators, right? Especially because now we have all these devices that can actually record such better quality, like our cell phones and stuff, right?
Hmm.
Everybody pretty much has a cell phone, and if it's anything decent in the last, the last 5, 10, well, not 10 generations, but like 5 generations of phones, right? Basically, you're gonna have a good camera, and you can just record with that, and like put it online, and you can just start making content, right? So it's very
Hmm.
easy. It's a lot easier for people to make content, and there's more than one platform, right? You don't have to do YouTube. You can do TikTok, right? You
Yeah,
can totally
which I
go
am
like social media
still
route.
TikTok. I am still trying to figure out and failing miserably. But the original host of the show and
Yes.
creator of the show, ChristopherNotWalken, who just retired from the show and handed it over to me. That's what he's doing now. He's now on TikTok and
Wow.
he is killing it over there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You just gotta like, with all these new platforms, it's like, first off, I always ask myself, what's the purpose, right, of the platform? And because like when I first joined Twitter, it was like, what's the point of Twitter, right?
Me
And,
too.
at first, and like it's the same thing I asked myself when I first started playing Minecraft, like, what's the point of Minecraft, right? And then after you're playing
I
it and experiencing it for a bit, then it's like you realize, oh, I get it,
Exactly.
right?
I had the same vibes because my I was in college when Minecraft first came out, and everybody I major in computer graphics, and everybody in the computer lab was playing Minecraft, and I looked at it and I was like, I don't really. Is this a game? What is happening? I mean, yeah,
Right.
sure, building thing is fun and all, but this doesn't look like it really registers to me as a game. And literally a decade later, I learned that many people find it relaxing. So I decided to play it in ASMR. And I was like, I get it now. I finally get it
Yeah.
now. And I am a decade behind everybody. And I feel bad.
Yeah,
But it
yeah,
is what it
it's the same
is.
thing. It's like, yeah, it's like a lot of times the first thing people say is like, what's up with the 8-bit graphics? Or
Yeah.
like
Well, that
like
that that I don't mind. I'm a big fan of Shovel Knight, even though it's been so long since I played it.
oh,
Geez, I'm
yeah.
due to play it again. I love those retro style games like Shovel Knight and Dead Cells and all that. They're fantastic.
Oh yeah. I mean, and now we have like Minecraft ray tracing. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so it's like, okay, if you want to see something really amazing, like play it with ray tracing, and oh man, it's like a whole different level. That actually wanted me to go back into Minecraft and start playing, like after the
Totally.
the Minecraft RTX version came out.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll likely upgrade my GPU in a year or two when the chip shortage dies down, instead of splurging on it when everybody's price gouging. Because again, I'm not rich, but
right.
but because right now I'm rocking a 1080 Ti, which is like the most
Ah,
advanced
yeah.
graphics card that is incapable of ray tracing in gaming, which I kind of screwed myself with that one, but you know what? It's fine. But
Yeah.
once I do upgrade, I'm going to be playing the crap out of Minecraft again because ray tracing Minecraft is one of the most beautiful games I've ever
Ah,
seen.
so beautiful. Yeah.
So you've been a gamer for a very long time, as have I, and like me, you have a ton of game consoles. You want to talk about those?
Yeah, so I think pretty much my earliest one was technically an Atari 2600, but I was like really kind of like too young to really maybe appreciate that. I think I remember vaguely playing like Pitfall
Ah,
um, on there, and then after that I got a Nintendo, but and I played Mario and like Duck Hunt was like the bomb,
yeah.
and I love the light gun games, and
Hmm. Duck
um,
Hunt's the only light gun game I've played, but it is bomb.
yeah, yeah, it was really like the best one. Um, until I got a Sega Saturn, and then
I to
like
this day
way
have never played
later.
a Sega Saturn, by the way.
Oh man.
And one of my
Oh,
best
oh
friends
my,
has one, and for some reason we've never got to playing it together.
oh my God. Yeah. Like eventually I turned into like a Saturn or a Sega fanboy,
Yeah.
and a TurboGrafx, fanboy. So I was really kind of like I always wanted to support, I don't know, the underdog consoles, I guess.
I feel you.
Um, yeah, like I think Nintendo for me was like um my least like played, console, even though I had them.
Yeah.
Um, like because after I got the NES, I got the TurboGrafx after that, and I got the Sega Master System, and I played like the hell out of those other two. Um,
Absolutely.
and then
I was the
eventually I
opposite. I
started.
was a Nintendo fanboy for a while.
I,
I have all
what
the
did you get?
Nintendo. I have all the Nintendo consoles, all the home consoles, and I also have a Game Boy Advance. Um, but I don't have any of their other handhelds because I'm
Yeah,
not a
I
handheld person.
I oh really? So you
Yeah,
really
but
were the console side?
90% of the time I play my Switch, it's docked. At least 90%.
Oh yeah,
Although
yeah.
although that's probably going to change until I replace my dock, because as I know you've seen on Twitter, my dock fried, so it's going to have to be replaced.
It's too much. It's too much dockage.
Yeah, I have
Okay,
more. I have
too
more
much.
USB Type C cords than I can count, and I think I may have accidentally used a non-Nintendo USB Type C cord on it, and that will fry. Little PSA: if you use a non-Nintendo USB Type C cord plugged into your Switch dock, it may fry it, and that happened to me.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why that's the case, but it is. So it's something to be aware of. But yeah.
Yeah, so after that, I mean, I actually own practically every single console. I have them in like these bins back here behind me that you can't really see.
Yeah.
Um, but I have all of the everything after the NES for Sega, TurboGrafx. I got Neo Geo, um, like everything up to everything up to now actually. Um, I got rid of my PS3 and PS2 because I can kind of like play those games on my PS5 now through
Yeah.
but through like back and pat stuff. And of course Xbox has amazing back and pat
Hmm.
compatibility. So like the one game I really love playing on my Xbox Series X is Daytona USA. That was released on the Xbox 360, and they can play that on back and pat with HDR. Uh, and in high frame rate, I believe. So it's like
It's
it looks
great.
even better than it like ever was on the arcade. like, like,
I like that.
um, yeah. So I like always go back to those like arcadey games, like Sega games, right?
Hmm.
They released a ton of amazing arcade games that they
They
ported
really
to
do.
home systems, like on Dreamcast
Like
and
Crazy Taxi.
you know,
Great.
exactly
Crazy Taxi is a
like Crazy
perfect
Taxi.
example of that. I love me some Crazy Taxi. And
Let's take a look.
Crazy
Yeah.
Taxi. Um, yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I love
Like
that game.
every time I hear Offspring or Bad Religion, I want
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I want to break out my Dreamcast and play some Crazy Taxi. Hashtag not sponsored.
Right.
Sega truly, to me, Sega will always be like the company for arcades, without a doubt.
Oh,
Like
totally.
like to this
Yeah.
day, every time you go to an arcade, you're gonna see quite a few Sega games, which is fantastic. Um,
Oh yeah. I was able to actually visit some of the Sega arcades in Tokyo.
oh
Um,
yeah, including the one that closed down famously.
yeah. Yeah, that one.
Nice.
And because I've worked at Xbox for a lot of years in the past.
Yeah.
And sometimes I like went to E3, for Xbox here in the States. But then I was also able to go to the Tokyo Game Show, which is basically their version of E3 in
Hmm.
Tokyo for a couple years. And of course, like Japan is absolutely amazing. I went to the arcades and like the electronic district and just like ate all that stuff up and just like went and just experienced everything over there. And it's so much fun. And it made me wish I knew any Japanese really,
Yeah.
even though like I grew up with watching anime and stuff. That was like the limit of the kind of, you know, like like words that I would pick up right from anime. So yeah.
Absolutely. Now you mentioned stuff you have on your shelves behind you. One other thing there that I want to talk about that everybody can clearly see is the Pixiu screens, because
Yeah.
as some of y'all might have noticed, I have one too, because Destiny actually gave me a couple of his old ones. That is one of them right
Yeah, right
there.
there.
Yeah, thank you once again for that, by the way. How did you
Yeah.
discover those, and what are some of the favorite pictures and gifs, for lack of a better word, because I know it's not necessarily in GIF format, although it might be, I'm not sure, but I digress.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorites that you've had on your Pixie screens on stream?
Yeah, so because I have so many, I got 12 of them in the back that I always have to like put artwork on.
Hmm.
It's if I have time, then I'll kind of like put some thought into it. It's like, okay, what's like a theme? So sometimes on stream maybe you'll see like all cats.
Yeah.
Or like there'll be like cats on one side and like dogs on the other side. Or or like okay, maybe all anime characters or all game characters. There's actually a creator on there. So it's all of the artwork is user generated in their app. So
Mm.
everybody, so it's like a crowd funded kind of like artwork, thing where you have a huge collection of all these really awesome animated GIFs that you can get for these frames. And yeah, for example, this one right here, right out of frame, that's actually from a guy who just makes animated GIFs from Sega games.
Oh.
So so all of his gifts are little sprite animations from various, usually like Sega Genesis games.
Right.
Um, and there's all sorts of amazing creators on there making all sorts of artwork. But it actually I tried actually making my own artwork um, one time, and it was I think I tried to make an artwork of my mod overwork. Um,
Love
and
you,
I
Rebel.
managed, yeah, yeah, we all love you. Everybody loves you.
Yeah.
Uh, so, and I did it, but like trying to convert it into a sprite because they're not very high resolution.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a special process to make it like actually look clear. So it definitely takes some work to kind of get them looking good, but it's great because you can put all sorts of animations and your
Yeah.
clock or reminders or whatever on there.
Well, I too have a background in animation, so if you want any help with that, let me know. That'd be
Oh,
great.
okay. Yeah, I'm gonna need that.
Awesome. Um, so we have some fan questions. We actually have quite a few fan questions, because Aaron was so kind to put out a short video on his own channel asking his subscribers to ask questions in the comments of that video, and we got a flush of them. So we got some questions there. We got some on Twitter. So let's go through them one by one. The first question is from the Healing Room ASMR. She asks, where does he get his cool shades, bro?
Yeah, I know. That's one of the main questions that I get asked, obviously, right? Because like,
Yeah.
you know,
And you
I
have
think I
all
have
different
glasses,
kinds.
yeah, for like all different days. So like I have this one that is like an LED
That one's
screen.
my favorite right
Yeah.
there.
And so this one's really cool. You can kind of like see how that looks. And then
You could totally do a RoboCop thing with that one.
oh, totally. Right. And the cool thing is that like all of these kinds of glasses, they kind of like bring something different, to the stream, right? And This one was actually a 3D printed uh,
Really?
glasses. Yeah, so like the side, this is all 3D printed here, and this is basically the whole glasses part is the circuit board. So it's literally the circuit board as the frame, and it's okay. It's very bright, but this one has really cool custom effects, and you can change the speed and the brightness.
That's so
And this one I
cool.
got off of Etsy, just like looking for cool futuristic glasses on Etsy. So a lot of my stuff is from Etsy. And this one I just got. This is a
Okay, now that's RoboCop.
this is a visor. Yeah, this is a really cool visor that I actually had custom made by a props master, and he also made some pieces that I have that he made for Cyberpunk 2077. Um,
Ah.
and so it has like multiple LEDs in there, and of course it's very hard to see out of. So it's like I'm trying to like look at all my, I still have to run my stream, so
Yeah.
so it's like it can be hard to like see out of these things, but it looks pretty awesome on stream, and you can actually
Could
change
you
out the lenses too.
could you hold it toward the camera facing the other way so people can see what it looks like looking through them?
Yeah, I mean basically yeah, it would
Uh,
be
yeah, you
kind of
could
like that.
you could see through it, but yeah, it would be
Yeah,
flashing in your face.
yeah,
So
but yeah, I pretty much source my glasses from everywhere, like Amazon, Etsy, online random places, like you name it. Like I'm always looking for something cool and unique for my stream, and actually glasses are the one thing I'm going to continue buying. So if I see something cool, I'm gonna buy it no matter what. So
oh yeah. That is really awesome. I can't wait to see more of those glasses come in because those glasses never cease to amaze me.
oh
Um,
yeah.
that's awkward ASMR, aka that awkward gamer asks, how and why did you get into VTubing? Specifically talking about Destiny AI. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so I think I've always been interested in like the YouTubers and stuff, and I think with the recent kind of explosion of VTubing just in general, and in my case, I wanted to try my hand on like really a high end kind of like VTubing with Unreal Engine,
Mm-hmm.
and because there's different kinds, right? There's like 2D, like PNG images, right? And then there's like 2D kind of like 3D ish avatars, and then there's full 3D avatars, and then there's like the Unreal Engine style like CG, real time stuff. So there's different
Yeah.
levels of like realism there. And I really wanted to go to like the full the full realism. Let's just go full out. And so yeah, I actually bought a motion capture suit, which is basically the same thing that they use in movies
Mm-hmm.
and TV shows and games to capture real life movements. So you have to
As
wear like
early
a
as GoldenEye, that's been
whole
going
thing.
on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of
they've
the
been using
animation there
that.
was mocap.
I I think there was a few games on the Neo Geo, fighting games on Neo Geo that had motion capture animation even back then. Like
Wow.
it's pretty crazy. How far back this tech goes. But now it's actually affordable, like
Mm-hmm.
affordable to people who want to spend a couple grand, on it, whereas before it was just out
People
of
who call us rich in their comment section.
right. People at the college, right? Exactly. Yeah. So it's like now you can, if you really want to get into it, you only have to pay a few grand to get the full system, which before it would have been, 20 grand, right? So basically, I bought a motion capture suit to capture my full body movement and fingers, and I can use my phone to capture my facial performance, basically.
Yeah.
So it gets all that like lip movement and eye blinking and all that stuff with your phone. Um, and then that actually was like, hey, this is a good excuse to learn Unreal Engine,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like this thing is free. They use it for games to make all these AAA titles, and it's like, hey, I've always wanted to kind of like learn Unreal, so it was also like an excuse to kind of like just learn that on my own, and really kind of like dive in there. And yeah, I think I spent probably like 130 hours just learning it and how to like have bring characters in there and the motion capture information. And I eventually made this music video, this which was it was a remake of the Thriller Michael Jackson music video.
It was really well
Um,
done, by the way. I really
yeah, and
loved it.
that was basically the combination of like all that knowledge that I learned over those 130 hours making into this like one music video, and it was really awesome. And of course, also at the same time, I'm playing Horizon Forbidden West,
Mhm.
and that has amazing motion capture performances by like all the characters in the cutscenes.
Yeah.
Um, so that was actually really it keeps to be inspiring to me because I'm like, oh, I really want to like try to make something like a cinematic, like in Horizon. Um, and so I still want to make another video in the style of like Horizon. So we'll see if that happens. But additionally, this was also able to be applied to VTubing on YouTube, and on Twitch, doing live streams.
Hmm.
So yeah, I've adapted it to kind of like be used for like really high end cinematic stuff, and then also do the VTubing thing that I can like maybe just be a little bit different on stream and try something else out and just experiment with other things. And I actually want to make a VTubing maybe podcast as well, and like report news or something, with it. I'm still trying to figure out what exactly I want to do, but it's really fun and very unique. So yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So our next question comes from Iolite. Um, what did you do before ASMR?
What did I do before? What did I do before ASMR? That's actually an interesting question because I'm not sure how to answer that one because it's like before ASMR,
I'm assuming they think you
yeah.
do it full time.
Yeah, if that's yeah, I mean basically like well first off my ASMR isn't full time anyway.
Mm.
So I never actually became like super popular enough
Yeah,
to like quit my day job. Well, I'm not really expecting that, but I mean if it happens, it happens, like I'm not
I'm
going
in
to
the same
complain,
boat.
but yeah, like I mean if I can not if I can quit my day job and just do YouTube or just like creating, right? Like obviously I would do that. Um but yeah, I never really got that big to quit that, day job. So basically is it was always like trying to find time to make the content and then record.
Hmm.
Um and then now I actually have a 2.5-year-old baby girl. Um, and so trying to like manage time with her and the family and recording videos for YouTube and live streaming 5 times, a week, is very challenging. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah, I actually think someone else had a question about how do I manage my time with having a kid, and basically you have to just make sure that everyone is on page with what you're doing. Like, hey, I want to do this. How can we make it work, right, with the rest of the family, and finding time, to be able to do that. And um, so I'm very fortunate that like that my family can like accommodate me when I'm doing creation, creation content. So yeah, that's been really great.
Yeah. And that other person who asked about balancing YouTube and having a kid, that was Tricky Boy 601. Thank you for your question. That got answered simultaneously. Hush Tone ASMR asks two questions, um, both food related. Brownie batter or cookie dough?
Cookie dough. That's no question.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go cookie dough too, although they're close.
Yeah.
Um, and cheddar biscuits from Red Lobster or Olive Garden breadsticks.
So I've never had the the first one. What was it again?
Cheddar
What
biscuits
was
from
it?
Red
Cheddar
Lobster.
biscuits. Yeah, I never had that because like I never had a Red Lobster near me.
Ah,
So I think maybe there's like one, but I never went to it, so I actually couldn't say. So
yeah.
by default, I have to say the breadsticks because those are pretty damn good.
Yeah, I couldn't eat either of them due to gluten and veganism for the cheddar
Yeah.
biscuits case. Um, but I'd like to answer based on my own versions of those. I would go with breadsticks all the way. Biscuits are not
Yeah.
bad, but I'm a sucker for breadsticks. I
Yes.
whenever I make pizza at home, um, 70 to 80% of the time I make it, I also make some breadsticks with some of the batter I have left. Um,
Nice.
but yeah. Uh, so Gigi, not GB, GG asks, your videos have always been very high quality and very innovative. I agree. How were you able to find your niche in this community?
For me, I felt like I've always been, and I feel like I'm still like an outlier. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's the word.
Yeah.
Um, and I if you watch my content on YouTube, like it doesn't cater towards like what's hip, or like what YouTube wants, or what the YouTube algorithm wants, right?
Right.
Um,
I don't
so
think
they
the YouTube
want
algorithm even knows what it wants, to be honest with you.
yeah, it's like random, you know. But yeah, like I've always well, first off, I don't really plan. I'm not really like a planner for my content. So
Mm.
it's not like I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna, plan a month or months ahead on what these things are. I usually say, okay, I need to film, and then I'm going to just go into the studio and just like look around and see what's there,
Wow, that
right?
blows my mind because the quality of your videos really say otherwise.
I I tend to pretty much like um I have enough like a like one thing is the lighting, obviously.
Hmm.
I like to have like real sets, obviously,
Yeah.
because this is my room. But for my YouTube videos, I also love to have like a real set. So
Right.
you'll see like all of my lights in the frame, or maybe my mics in the frame, and like everything is kind of like a setup. And I always like think about first off, I think about like what sound or object I want to use, right? And then from there, then I'll think of some scenario or like setup that I can do around that sound. Um, and yeah, it's usually just on the fly. I'm really good at that because I don't know. It's just how I'm wired. Like
Yeah.
when I'm editing stuff too, it's the same way. There was one video I had. It was called a multi-dimensional ASMR video, and I filmed it one way in the studio, and it actually came out to be completely different in the edit. Um, and it's yeah, like a lot of my videos, I'll just plan one thing, but then it turns into something completely different in the edit because I have a better idea, right, as I'm doing it.
Totally.
Um, so yeah, it's it's pretty much like how I've been doing my videos, pretty much forever, um, unless unless I'm going for something specific, like oh maybe my views are down, and of course I care, I care
Yeah.
about views and like analytics and stuff like that. So maybe my
That
views are
actually
down.
touches on Gigi's next question. Were you ever worried about being so different would mean less views?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So if views are down or for whatever reason, then yeah, I'll kind of go back to like, okay, here's an ear cleaning, right, or a head massage, kind of like the ones that are gonna get a lot of views and everything.
Totally.
Um, or if people ask for them, like I'm totally down with making like the quote unquote standard ASMR
Yeah.
like sound content stuff. I'm totally down with it, but I'll try to like still make it unique looking, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so like I recently I have expansive background in like motion control, in camera motion control. So it's like camera rigs that are automated via computer and motors, right?
Hmm.
So that you can have the camera move a certain way through like robotic motion. And so a lot of my latest content has I'm using a camera jib. So it's actually flying the camera up and down, and side to side, and forward and back. So basically, I can move it in any axes, in the air.
Yeah.
And I was just doing some basic sounds, but I would give you like a total, that would give you like a totally new, unique look into that sound, right? Um, so that's kind of like the things that I like to go for is like, even though I'm doing basic stuff, I want to give you something maybe special to look at, right?
Totally. And Gigi's last two questions, which are kind of related, so I'll ask them both at once. Are you creating these videos with the future in mind? And this is a serious question, as they put. Are you a time traveler? And if you don't want to admit, do you believe time traveling can be done? And off camera, Aaron said to me that actually he's my great, 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 great grandson from the future.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
just made that
Yes.
up. That's
Well, we're all related if you go back far enough, right? So,
that is true.
right. Um, but yes, I am a time traveler. Um, some people say I'm from 2077, but some people say I'm from the year 3000. So, some people say I'm from the past.
I would suspect that you're from 2077, considering how big of a fan you are of Cyberpunk. It reminds you of the good the good new days, we'll call it.
The good new days. Yep. Yep. Sometimes I used to, embody like some like rejected NPC from the game, and just be like, I'd be like, hey man, you want some ASMR here? I got this.
Yeah, just come in.
Take the side quest.
Side quest in Val Golly, some little tingles here.
Right.
20,
The tingles.
$20 a
Yeah.
pop.
Right. You love it.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah. So for my content wise, I've actually been filming in 8K for a while now, and that's basically been like future proofing like my content. And so I can go back 3 or 4 years. I have like archives of hard drives back here,
Yeah.
just with my old content and old files. Because one ASMR video in 8K is usually about like 150 to 200 gigs.
Oh my god.
Or larger depending, but yeah, like it's usually about like 150 200 gigs, and yeah, I've
But
like
he's not
stored all
rich.
all of those. Right, not rich. No. These are cheap hard drives. These are cheap ones. Okay.
Please send me links to those because I need that in my life.
Yeah, so I can actually go back and 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, and I can like pull those original files, and I can just remaster, re-edit those, right? And obviously they look amazing, still, right? So, so that's basically what I've been doing, for my content, just basically for future proofing purposes, right? So,
Mhm.
so yeah.
Yeah, proof your work to make sure that it's still relevant when you finally get back to your own time. Anyway,
Yes.
so
well they have like 25K right now. Like that's the resolution of TVs right now. But
oh wow,
in the future,
I can't wait to see
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Eye so
popping.
yeah, Nicholas Gers says, "How do you have so much money?" with a winky face.
Wait, what did we say? What have we been saying all this time?
I did. You got me.
Yeah, basically, it's just a matter of having a job is great,
Mhm.
right? That's how you earn money. And people actually want to get into creating because they want to make money creating, and it's like, well, get a job, get a real, I wouldn't say real job, get a day job, okay? And then, if you want to start creating, do that. Don't count on earning money
Yeah.
right? If the money comes, that's awesome, right?
Yeah.
If the streaming gods bless you, you know, then that's that's really amazing. And there's been a lot of people that have been able to quit their day jobs and like
Mhm.
do streaming full time, and that's like super awesome. But yeah, it's just a matter of like prioritizing what you want to buy and
Absolutely.
how you want to build out your stream and what equipment you want. And there's so many options out there now, and especially now there's so many options that are not expensive, right?
Yeah.
That you
Like
can
like
get
those
and
hard
it
drives.
decent, right? Right, like those hard drives that I got back there. With all of my old content, yes, yes.
Totally. So, um, it's Coles or it's Kiss. If I'm mispronouncing names, this goes out to everybody who asked questions. Thank you for submitting your questions. If I mispronounce your name or struggle to pronounce it, I apologize. I can relate because most people can't spell my name, even though it's 5 letters. I before E, except after C, it gets everybody. But so they ask, "Hi, Aaron. I hope you're doing well." Smiley face. That's very sweet. My question is, do you watch ASMR from any other ASMR artists? If so, who do you watch slash listen to the most?
Yeah, so the I would say first off, I have ASMR immunity. So I I don't really get tingles anymore, or if I do, it's very rare.
I can
And
relate.
so yeah, so I don't usually watch regular specific ASMR artists. I go to stuff like unintentional ASMR. Um,
Ah,
and one channel that I think I frequently talk about um, on my streams is a channel called Aiden Films. I believe that's how you pronounce his name.
okay.
And he just produces. He goes to so he lives in Tokyo, I believe, and he just goes to like these high end sushi bars and like 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 steak houses and stuff, and uses his phone to record them cooking.
Oh,
And and all those places, they have like the cooking surfaces all there at the bar, right? So it's like right there in front of you, the chef is there cooking, and it's like just the clinging of the tools, and just like cutting things up, and the sizzling of the food and everything like that. Like his whatever he's using for audio, it's it's super relaxing to me. And he has one that's like making fried rice that totally always gets me ASMR. So
yes.
so that's one that I like. And then and then another one that I go to is that I think it's called the Alexander technique for sitting.
The Alexander
Have you,
technique. What is that? How does that
have you
work?
you've not seen that?
Inquiring minds need to know.
Oh, okay.
The
Okay.
Alexander technique.
I I think it's called Alexander technique. I I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. So it's basically this lady who is teaching you to properly sit in a chair,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Because apparently we've been all sitting wrong
Oh, yeah.
in chairs and
All,
getting up
all
out
of
of
us.
chairs.
That no question.
Yeah. If you look up the Alexander technique on YouTube, there's this lady teaching this other lady how to sit and stand in a chair, and it's just how to posture yourself properly to get up and down out of this chair.
Hmm.
And the way that the instructor kind of like lightly touches like her head and neck, and kind of like positions kind of like her hands, make sure she's like sitting properly, right? Like totally gets me too. Like I'll just fall asleep to that.
That's really
So
interesting. I please send me that. I need to see this.
yeah, yeah, that's actually one of the most popular unintentional videos out there. It has millions of views.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So that one's pretty cool.
Awesome. So Mince asked, what is your favorite trigger?
Probably. Hmm. I think if I had to say like an ASMR specific trigger, it would be something rustling right next to the ears.
Okay.
So, but again, it has to be like clear. It has to be so clear that when I listen to it with headphones, it actually feels like that they're right there next to my ears, right? So if it's really clear with no background noise and it's really really close, that it feels like it's really there. Oh yeah, yeah,
I can
that'll
relate.
get me.
A
Yeah,
deep ear cleaning it always gets me every time.
yeah, yeah. There's one actually old video from Dimitri, from ASMR,
Massage
um,
ASMR.
f- from Massage ASMR that I sometimes go to. He has these like little road packets, road mic packets that actually look like condoms.
Really?
And yeah, because they're just in a little square package, and he's like, "Yeah, these
Oh,
aren't what they."
so condom packets, not just
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like it looks like a kind of packet,
Hmm.
um, and he just like flicks those like next to your ear and stuff, and it's like, "Oh wow, yeah, that's good."
I'm pretty sure that exists as ASMR videos, but with actual condom packets.
Probably, or
Probably.
people blowing them up like a balloon,
Oh
and
yeah,
then doing something with
yeah. that yeah that definitely happens too.
lubed and not lubed,
Yeah,
versions.
they're gonna make different sounds.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
that's true.
so Gabby asks, if you weren't making ASMR content, what do you think you'll be doing? Probably your day job, right? But let me let me
Yeah.
add a little bit to that. What would you be doing in place of it as a hobby that you don't necessarily do now due to time?
Hmm. It's a hard one to answer, um, because I love being a creator, right?
Yeah.
So it's like if I wasn't doing ASMR, maybe, hmm, probably something related to games, maybe like a podcast or something like that. If I wasn't doing, if I had to replace that time with something else,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm very much into, of course, like games
Mhm.
and filmmaking. So actually making, oh, you know what? One thing I've actually always wanted to make was instructional videos,
Ah.
and for you like Udemy or whatever, right? Like one of those like learning sites. And so I would probably maybe be a teacher of, say, filmmaking or like videography, or even doing like the podcast thing, maybe, pursuing that. There's always kind of like been on things on my list of like back burner things I want to like try out and at least do for once, right?
Hmm.
Um, but I just don't have enough time to kind of like really devote my entire attention, to those kind of things while doing other things. So
Totally.
yeah, maybe one day, but yeah, it's on the back burner.
So Jackson asks, do you ever experience ASMR randomly when watching a TV show or movie?
Usually not a movie. Um, yeah, usually not a movie, but for TV shows, usually it has to be something like Bob Ross in that kind of
Yeah.
setup, right? If it's a TV show or
Bob
something like
Ross
that, I think.
basically is ASMR before ASMR was a thing.
Oh, totally. Yeah, exactly. And I used to watch him as a kid, so
Yeah.
and that's how I pretty much got relaxed as I was a kid. But yeah, usually TV shows and like movies, I'm too kind of like focused on like the whole, like what's going on, and like even the production value, or like how they make it, or like, I'm pretty much like analyzing the movie or TV show as it happens. So I don't,
Yeah.
yeah, I usually don't get any like ASMR from it, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Zuzi asks, what do you think about ASMR becoming more mainstream?
Hmm. So on one side, right, it's awesome that more people know about ASMR, right?
Hmm.
The more people that know about it, it's great. On the flip side, right, they probably are getting different impressions about what it is depending on how they
Totally.
actually discover it, right? Um,
Yeah.
so so that's the thing, is it's great that they're discovering it, but I'm just hoping that they don't get the wrong impression. of it,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, so it's definitely like a double-edged sword. Is that
Hmm.
the right analogy
Oh,
for that?
absolutely.
Yeah,
The double-edged sword
yeah,
totally applies to this, 100%.
yeah, yeah. So that's why like when I started out, um, and on my YouTube videos, I actually put like on each one of my videos, this is my mission statement, right? When I first started, I made a mission statement to like tell you exactly why I wanted to make videos. And one of them was to like educate people on what ASMR is, like how it started, um, and what it's supposed to do and like make you feel if you do experience it,
Hmm.
right? And be basically like a evangelist, for the expansion of ASMR, right, to the world. So, because it helped me physically, right, with my migraines. So I really wanted to give back, and it's been really awesome to hear from so many people over the years, like how it helped them with their insomnia, right, or with pain or headaches, and it's always awesome to hear from people that your content helps them, right?
Absolutely. Insomnia is the one that hits home to me the most because that's how I got into ASMR in the first place.
Mm,
I could not sleep for
yeah.
the life of me before I found ASMR.
Luckily for me, like I feel bad even saying it. Like I don't have any problem sleeping. like
That's
I
okay.
feel
That's
I
great.
feel bad.
Having
I always
problem.
feel bad. Yeah, when someone asks me that.
Yeah,
Um,
that is a valid feeling. But I feel there's no real need to feel bad about that because it's a great thing not to have to worry about that. And you're still putting content out there that helps other people who do have such an issue or other issues like the ones you just mentioned.
yeah, yeah. Like I don't even know if I would have actually created or started creating if I actually didn't have migraines,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Right? Because I didn't have a reason to search for anything on YouTube to alleviate my migraines in the first place.
Exactly.
So I don't know if I would have ever discovered Maria's channel back then. Who knows, right?
Exactly. We all have our
Yeah,
own struggles. I myself never really had an issue with migraines. I get headaches once in a while, but nothing too severe or frequent. So
yeah,
it's different strokes for different blokes, kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Um, so Nathan asks, when do we get more Fanistry videos?
Well, if you tune into my Twitch channel 5 times, a week, maybe I have adapted the Fanistry videos that I created on my YouTube channel for live stream. Um, so if you are able to tune into my live streams, that's great. I can do one live, but yeah, I think the Fanistry videos on my YouTube channel were kind of like a product of the time. I feel like so, like personally, I was kind of like going through a little bit of struggle in my life. Specifically in I think it was like the second Fantasy video, um, where I cried when I
Oh,
was doing the video, and it was it was basically like touching a part of me that wasn't doing too well at the time,
hmm.
um, and I left it in. I left it in the video. I actually zoomed in to that part.
That's awesome.
Actually, yeah, I actually zoomed in and left it there and kind of like just yeah and just kind of like let it out for people to see, right? Just to be vulnerable in that place. So actually, those were kind of like born out of the time that I was in,
Hmm.
and then I don't know, maybe one day I'll do them again. But those were actually specifically done to music. So I was actually listening to music in my headphones and then doing the movements,
Yeah.
um, which I don't think I actually had them play in the video because due to copyright reasons. Um, but but if you do able to catch my live streams, I do them live now.
And they're a
So
lot
that's
of
always
fun. I highly recommend them.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So Sabrina M asks a few questions. What are your favorite triggers to listen to and film? We have covered the listen to part, but what about film?
The kinds I love to film, usually it is again, I kind of like do the videos. I make my content usually on the fly, um, unless it's like specific request. Um, but I think the videos I really like to do are the more unusual triggers, right?
Yeah, I did
Um,
notice that.
yeah. So of course I'll do the standard ones, but then maybe I'll like do one where I had some like weird object, right? Like
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 a
even
coffin.
even like the ice glow, yeah, coffin, yeah, like ice
The
globe,
coffin tapping is
right?
really popular on his Twitch channel, by the way. Y'all need to
Right,
tune in and
or a
see it.
coffin.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Um, it's like tapping, but like, oh, what can I do it on? Well, okay, well, I found this at a craft store, and I was like, hey, tapping on a coffin, maybe that'd be cool. So, and that entirely became a thing, on my live
Hmm.
streams. So a lot
You're
of times it'll just be something I'll just pick up at a craft store, and then it'll become a trigger, right?
Yeah, your positive affirmation style is really great and unique too. I'm a huge fan of that. For those who have not been to his Twitch channel, which you really need to check out his Twitch channel, I can't stress that enough. Um, uh, he has some effects going on, and he uses his hand with the glowy gloves back and forth, and reads the affirmations on screen to soothing music. It's really phenomenal. It's really a next level experience.
I think that the affirmation experiences that I have, like to me, I've done them so much, right? I don't really feel the effect of it, because I'm always like performing it.
Hmm.
That's why it's so cool to hear from people that are affected by it, right? And say like, "Oh my God, this is exactly what I needed. I felt so bad today. I needed some positive affirmations. Thank you so much." And I'm like, and that always, reaffirms me as like, wow, this still really gives people joy or happiness, right?
Hmm.
Even if it's just like a little thing that I can do on stream for a couple minutes, right? Which is it's still amazing. It's amazing to me that 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 I can just like do something very, with very little I would I wouldn't say little effort because it takes effort, but just a little thing that I can do, right, just for a couple of minutes can really make someone's day, right? And that's
Yeah.
very great to hear.
Hmm. Sabrina also asks, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
10 years.
10
I hate these
years.
ki- I, I hate these kind of questions. It's like it's like an interview.
I
Okay,
was
where do you
I
see
was
yourself in
I was thinking
where do you
the
see
same
yourself in
thing.
5 years, right? Where do I see myself in 10 years? Well, um let's see. First off, my daughter will be 12, so that will be interesting. Um, as a father, and then I don't have any plans on stopping making content. Um, in fact, I will probably have like even higher end cameras by then.
You'll
Probably,
be streaming in 8K by then.
probably. Oh my God, I hope so.
That would be
Um,
fantastic.
come on,
The,
Twitch, you can do it.
the
Come
rest
on,
of us will
Twitch.
be streaming in 4K.
Right, right, right. No, I'll be streaming in VR 3D. I better be streaming in VR 3D, like holographically, right by then.
Yeah. You
Like,
already do a version of that with Destiny AI.
oh yeah, like we'll be all in the metaverse together, right? And we're gonna just like, oh my God, yeah. There's this app. Actually, speaking of, there's this app right now on the phone where I can do a live stream AR projection of myself over the app.
Really?
So if other people, it just came out recently, if other people have the app, they can actually like put my body like in their room somewhere, you know, and see me as like a little AR figure as I'm streaming that live.
Interesting.
So like,
They have that now.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, like that's already stuff that is out and created. It's obviously it's really early right now, but like, yeah, being able to stream, live stream virtually or, through AR, which is going to be a thing. Okay, it's going to be a thing, guys. AR. So, like, I'm telling you right now, get
And
ready
he's from
for
the
it.
future, so he has credibility.
Yes, I can tell you. I can tell you right now, it's going to happen. Um, so yeah, it's really just all exciting, like what we're going to be able to do in the future, and I hope to still be like making ASMR with these whatever future things we're gonna have in the in the future. For me, it'll be the past,
Mm.
but your future, I'll use your technology to bring you what you want. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I just hope to be keep doing what I'm doing and also become just continue to be a great father for my daughter. So yeah.
Yeah. It's awesome. So and Sabrina also asks, what's your favorite food and do you cook?
So I don't cook. So sorry, I don't cook. I love eating
I do.
out. Okay, there you go, Keith. Okay,
You were pointing the right direction the
that was
first time, according
that
to my.
was that was
That's
that
the
way.
that's the thing about Zoom, Discord, and all that is that you never know which side you're on compared to the other person on their
Oh,
screen. It's
right. Because you
it's
should be on that side. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
I am
that's
on
so
that side.
weird.
It's so weird.
Um, but yeah, unfortunately, I don't cook, but I love eating out. Um, my favorite food. Geez, I have so many. I don't really, I don't really have like a favorite much of anything. Like with movies, I
Yeah.
have like a top 10, but I don't really like maybe Blade Runner is my most favorite movie, but but like Tron is also up there, so
I-
same thing with like TV shows and games
I'm
and
the opposite. I do pick a few favorites and then everything else I like either I enjoy it or I don't. Like my favorite movie is My Cousin Vinny. My favorite band is Foo
ah.
Fighters. My favorite food is butternut squash and my favorite game, three-way tie, Super Mario World, Link to the Past and GoldenEye.
You, so when you do like a dating profile, like you totally have all those things like listed out specifically. For me, it'd be like, I don't know. I got,
Yeah,
I got like,
pretty much.
I got like 5 movies I love. Yeah. Um, but yeah, for food, I would say I love burgers, though I'm trying to like,
I love burgers too.
I love burgers. I'm trying, I gotta try not to eat too many burgers.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey,
but
Impossible and Beyond Burgers are very similar to, particularly Impossible Burgers, taste really similar to real burgers, so it feels like you're cheating the system.
yeah, I actually had the Impossible Burger at Burger King,
Ah,
and yeah, because they made the Impossible Whopper, I think that's what it was. Um, and I had that a few times, and I was like, hey, this tastes fine.
yeah,
Tastes fine to me. Yeah.
yeah. That's the thing. Some veggie burgers are fantastic. Some are awful. I won't name the ones that I think are awful because I don't want to throw shade their way. Um, but but my two favorites are Impossible and Beyond. Or Beyond and
Oh
Impossible.
yeah.
I say Impossible and Beyond. People who don't know what Beyond is may not realize that I'm naming a name. They're like Impossible and
Right.
more. No,
Right.
it's Beyond Burgers and Impossible Burgers. Those are my go-tos.
Yeah.
Two Head Studio asks a very interesting question, an opinion piece question. Why do you think some people get absolutely polar opposite result from ASMR, i.e., getting annoyed and uncomfortable?
That's actually a really great question. At one point, I asked people like in a serious manner, right? Like usually when you ask someone, "Why do you not like ASMR?" Usually it's they're all like, they get on your case, for asking them that, or they think it's a joke or whatever. But I seriously, at one point in the past, I was like, like seriously, why do you not like it? Like, tell me your reasoning behind it, because at one point I was also wondering, like, why do you react in a negative way towards it, right?
Mm.
And and from my perspective, it's basically it comes from like they listen to the ASMR sounds and they they have the same reaction to like nails on a chalkboard.
Totally.
So it's a cringy sound, to them, hurts their ears, just gives them just a, oh my God, turn it off kind of, feeling.
Yeah.
Um
And there are some people
and
out there that actually get legit ASMR from nails on a chalkboard.
oh yeah. Yeah, totally.
I'm one of them, by the
Um
way.
that's not one of my go-to triggers, but but
Mine neither,
but actually, I mean, nails on a chalkboard, like not scratching,
like
I can
tapping on a chalkboard. Yeah,
like tapping, I
I
could
could be
totally do
down with
that.
that
Like
100%.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's I guess it's I don't know if I want to say it's unfortunate that they have the reaction, but because like everyone's gonna have their own reactions to everything, right? Positive
Totally.
or negative, depending on what it is. And especially with ASMR, which is an audio video thing,
Mhm.
right? Especially audio side, right? It's like music, right? Like people are not gonna like different genres of music, right? There's some genres they just hate, right?
Mhm.
And they just can't stand listening to, right? And it's same thing with ASMR.
Yeah.
I think some things they can like, and some things they just totally cringe. And I actually have a couple videos on my channel. I think they're called like the ASMR 101, or like let's find your ASMR trigger video, and I go through like a dozen different triggers. Say, hey, let's go through these and see which one maybe gives you ASMR, and maybe they don't. But
Yeah.
here's like a dozen and see what works, right? So,
Absolutely. Luis Tristan asks, what's something you would like to do in your ASMR content that you haven't yet?
hmm. Well, one thing that people always want me to do is like some kind of role play video. And for me, like the role play thing, it's not really my style. Um,
Mm.
so I think the closest thing I've done to role play is like Doctor Destiny, and um, so I've actually just ran with that, and Doctor Destiny um, has been kind of like a character that has come back over the years. It was funny because like the first time he made an appearance, I did like some like face massage or like face examination, and then I had a follow up video where it was like a a uh, uh, a dermatologist, and it was like, "What happened to your face? Like who did you go to?" And then it was like Doctor Destiny. Oh man, he's he has like malpractice, and so I kind of like kept things going, and then eventually Doctor Destiny turned into a dentist. Um, and so that's why my most popular videos on my channel are my dentistry videos, which are like 360. So I put a camera inside a huge mouth, and it's a 360 video, so you can actually look at the back of your throat as well. And so I'm like, they're cleaning your teeth and stuff. It was funny in one of those videos. I opened up the video like, oh my God, I just like delivered a baby, and that was like a few days, and that was like actually a few days after my real baby was born.
Oh.
I didn't deliver the baby, but
Right.
but in the video, I was like, I just delivered a baby, and then I like showed a picture of her or something like that, and then of course like everyone in the comments like, wait a minute, you are a dentist and you're a like delivery like baby delivery like doctor, like what's going on here? And so like that became kind of like part of the lore and the history of the character. So I like playing around with it and doing fun stuff like that. So but yeah, I think more like role plays because like people really like to see that side,
Hmm.
besides, instead of like pure sound, videos
Yeah.
or things like that. So
Fascinating stuff. So, Kim Dioust says, "What got you interested in ASMR?" We kind of covered that. Uh, Also, who inspires you as an ASM artist?
I think a lot of my inspiration comes from like movies and TVs, um, especially in the if they have something special about them, like production wise, um, or even like certain directors, right? They all have certain um, styles,
Hmm.
um, and so yeah, I get a lot of that from like TV and movie production. Um, I there's like some ASM artists that have really became really cinematic in their presentations.
Hmm.
I really love like some of the Japanese and like Korean ASM artists that I don't get to like watch their stuff very often, but a lot of creators from Asia are really just making some super cinematic or like even like TV show quality like ASMR with a bunch of camera shots and being like having a whole set set up, um, and like some of them have been like on TV shows, like a full like production, and I'm like, wow, like that's like really awesome, and then I kind of like watch it and get more ideas about my own content. um, so so yeah, I'm always like looking for like really kind of like cool ways to like present, ASMR, because there's only so many ways I can do a head massage, right? But then if I can like put it in a different environment or like have the camera do something different or have different kind of lights, right? Or just present it in different ways, right? It kind of keeps it fresh and unique. So that's what I always look for.
Awesome. DDH asks, "What do you like about ASMR, and what are your favorite techniques?"
What do I like about ASMR? Well, I think the main thing I like about it is that it helps people. Um,
Hmm.
that's like the one thing I really love is that you can. There's like so many things on YouTube or online that people make that it's a one-way street, right? Where it's like they make it gets put out there and then that's it, right? It doesn't
Right.
really do anything. Um, but with ASMR, it actually helps that person. It can help you in a certain way, right? And that's a very unique kind of content that you can make. Um, there's not much content out there that is like that, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so being able to, and that's why like people come back to the videos. Like people, that's why you get a lot of. Usually, you would get a lot of views
Hmm.
from maybe like a low amount of subscribers, um, right? Because it's content that makes them feel good or puts them to sleep or helps with a headache, right?
Yeah.
um, so and getting the comments from people that say like, hey, this helped me in this way, um, is amazing. It's always amazing to hear from them, and that actually keeps me going, to kind of like keep making content and even making custom content if they request something specific, right? So
Hmm.
so yeah, that's pretty much like why I just have been continuing to do it all this time. So
So Giant Dad 69, nice, asks, "How did you get to where you are now in ASMR? Did you have a dream job previously, or were your original ambitions set on being an ASM artist?"
well, the um I don't think I had like a real like, hey, I'm just gonna become an ASM artist and like that's it, right? So like
Right.
I was never really expecting to like be hugely popular that I would just be able to quit my day job or anything like that. So
Right.
I didn't have like super high expectations, you know, for doing it. And um, there were, of course, like over the years, there's been nice spikes in like subscriptions. Um, and like ASMR Zeitgeist, I actually was talking to him before he got popular.
Oh.
So Zeitgeist and I talked a bit about, I think it was about like cameras or something like that before he got popular, and then all of a sudden, boom, he just like skyrocketed and just never left, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I was in one of his, like, I think it was like the Men of ASMR video that he did. He was so nice to be able to
Yeah.
make that video. Yeah, where he just like had tons of male ASMR artists, like little clips, um, in there, and just having me in there for just, I don't know if it was like 30 seconds or a minute or whatever,
Something
like
like that.
just
I remember going back to that
yeah.
video after you told me that you were in it, because when I first saw it, I was brand new to ASMR and didn't really know
Oh,
anybody, so I had to go back and see, and it was really awesome. You were waving something in your clip, right?
I was doing the fantasy thing.
Yeah, you're doing the fantasy
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I was doing the ASMR Fantasy with the moving camera and everything, and I think I might have had like multiple camera going on, and yeah, just as fancy as I could make it, right,
Yeah,
right, and that alone, like I had 1,000 subs in a day,
that is awesome.
like it was like boom, I was like, wow, this is awesome,
Yeah.
but like with something like that though, it usually drops pretty quickly, so
That may be
it
true,
was.
but some of that thousand will stick around for sure, statistically speaking. So it's worth it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So in the past, definitely I've had spikes and stuff, but it was never really anything that really constantly took off.
Mm.
Um, so but even so, like I didn't really get upset about it or like get depressed or anything about it because it is what it is,
Yeah.
and all I could do was just keep creating content, right? So I just kept working on it. I'm working on it. I did take a little bit of a break, like a 6 month or break around the 2019, I think, time frame. But then before that, I was making like 3 YouTube videos a week, like 2 or 3 a week
Oh yeah, I used to
constantly
do that
every
too, but
week.
I could not for the life of me do that anymore if I tried.
Yeah, like I stuck to that schedule for the longest time. Um, and even so, like it was still, I wasn't getting quite the daily sub numbers I really wanted. And so, but I still kept doing it, and then I took a break, and then of course, if you take a break, that's gonna really negatively affect your channel.
Hmm.
So ever since then, I've been trying to kind of like build it up, again, trying to put out at least like once a week, in between live streaming. So.
Totally. Um, so Nurkiha asks, um, which one do you enjoy doing more, live ASMR or recorded ASMR?
Oh yes. So obviously they're both different,
Hmm.
right? Live ASMR, I'm confined to the space that I built out here, but I've tried to bring over elements of my YouTube, pre-recorded stuff to my live streams, like the fantasy and
Yeah.
affirmations and stuff like that. So like fan favorites, I guess, of my YouTube channel, like I've converted over to doing live. Doing live, not a lot of people. I think a lot of people don't realize how difficult live streaming is,
Hmm.
um, and it's a frequent thing that comes up again and again, online from creators. Like live streaming is very draining,
Oh yeah.
especially if you need to do it, as a job, right?
Yeah.
There's extra pressure there, especially if you have to do it just to pay your bills and stuff. Um, and just being in front of a camera for hours and hours and hours on end, yeah, it is definitely tiring, right? And so, um, you have to really have like stamina, and you really need to stick with a schedule and just be like committed to it. And I would love to live stream more, but and I used to actually stream a little bit longer, but now I just don't have the energy to do it because all my energy is devoted towards my daughter in the daytime. I have to, I drink 5-hour energy drinks every stream just to do the stream. Uh, and so, yeah, I'm sure that's not good for me, but it's like, it is what it is. Um,
I crash instantly if I have too much caffeine. I could not do it.
for me, like the 5-hour energy drinks are more like 2-hour energy drinks.
You're right.
So like it just keeps off the sleepies, right? It just keeps them off of me at least for when I'm streaming. And then after I'm done, it's like, I'm being like attacked, by
Yeah,
the sleepies there. So yeah, it just keeps me awake just enough to keep going. So
totally.
it's definitely difficult with everything going on, but I do love live streaming because you have that extra interaction, right? You have that live interaction with your audience and your viewers, and that's like always fun, obviously. So you can have a great time with them on stream, and you can have fun and also chill and relax and like yeah, just have a great time. With YouTube, though, I love doing that because then I can do things I can't do live, right? Which is
Mhm.
actually make something, you know, it's like live TV versus a movie, right? You can't
Yeah,
make a movie with live TV and you can't do live TV with a movie. So it's like the two different forms of presentation, right?
yeah.
Um, so that side, I can totally explore my videography side, do fancy camera setups or light setups or sound setups, and really experiment with that kind of thing. So I love both sides. Yeah.
Absolutely, me too. It- they each have their own advantages and disadvantages
Hmm.
as you laid out.
Yeah.
Candace Shelton says, "What is your favorite type of ASMR content to create?"
Yeah, probably like I said, like the unique, kind of videos, like maybe the teeth cleaning. The teeth
Yeah.
cleaning one that I did was just I don't know why it just took off. It's the most popular by far, the most popular video I've ever created on my channel. Um and I think it was pretty much because like I don't think anybody else did it with a 360 camera. Um at that time I like every day I get comments about it like, "Oh, make sure you look behind you," right? Because it's just like a little dark chasm, when you look behind you. Um, and yeah, so like even to this day, I still get comments every single day about that video. Um, so doing stuff uniquely is pretty much what I like to do. Um, I loved doing the 360 videos just in general. Um, I actually used to do a bunch of 360 videos when it first came out, when YouTube first started supporting 360. Um, and that was also back on like the OG days.
Mhm.
And yeah, so those ones I put the camera like in all sorts of like weird situations. Like one video has the camera suspended over my stairway 2 floors up. So actually, if you look down, there's nothing below you. It's like you're floating, in air. And I managed to like erase the the camera holder for it, the tripod. So it literally looks, you can look all the way around and you feel like you're floating. And so it's like,
Mhm.
I don't know if it's really ASMR because in that situation, I think everyone was like freaking out because if you watch it in VR, you just are just like, oh my God, I'm gonna fall.
I think it
Um,
really depends on the person because some people, myself included, would absolutely see it as just an immersive, out of this world experience that just takes your mind away from the stresses of reality. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, yeah. There was definitely people that loved it and were just like freaked out by it. But of course, with
Yeah.
that kind of video, um, it was all about like experimenting.
Mhm.
I would put the camera in the car and I would go to Jack in the Box and get drive through. And so it's like, so so the video would, yeah, I literally have a video. It's like, eat Jack in the Box with me, right? So you're like the passenger, and you just like totally see me ordering and eating the food right there, and yeah,
And you could
it's
look
pretty fun.
around just like a real
Yeah,
immersive experience.
you can look all around. Yeah.
I love it.
Mhm.
Um, so Sonoto Medic asks, where did you get your start in professional video?
Yeah. So really early on, like if you've been around, like we have, like okay, before digital video, there was like mini DV tape, right?
I
Which was like
remember
like this
those.
big, like mini DV tape, which was like a digital kind of format. I
That's
think it
what
was
I
like
used in high school to learn editing
yeah,
myself.
yeah. So that was like 1080i, I think was like the max on those.
Mm.
And then you had VHS, right? Um, so yeah, I started out. I think when mini DV came out in the U.S., um, I got a mini DV camera and started shooting stuff with it, and eventually shot like my own like little music video, and that's pretty much how I kind of got into like the whole thing and doing green screen and stuff at that time also, which by the way was a huge pain in the ass
Yeah, it was.
back then.
Before
Back then,
before
oh my god,
HD, it was really difficult to strip out the background
oh
because
my god,
there's so much blur and everything around you. Is It was a mess.
so much like compression and just it
Yeah,
wasn't a clean image and yeah, and like Premiere and stuff, wasn't all that back then.
yeah. I was using Final
So
Cut Pro in those days.
oh, you were,
Yeah.
yeah, I've been using yeah Premiere ever since the beginning, ever since like version 1, I think. So um yeah, I ended up um being a visual effects supervisor for like a short film after that, and I did all the visual effects. It was like probably like 200 visual effects shots or something like that that I had to do green screen work and compositing, and like I was using a program called like Combustion,
Never heard of it.
and Combustion basically was a program that could generate particles, um,
Ah,
and like
it's like an early
explosions
After
and
Effects.
stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. So you could totally like generate those and then like bring them into Premiere, and then you could composite.
Nice.
Um, yeah, I just played around with all that kind of stuff. 3ds Max, Maya. Uh, yeah.
I I I swore by Autodesk Maya in college. In fact, and so much so that on my Discord server, Maya ASMR is called Autodesk Maya, and she has a
Yeah.
background in graphics too, so she gets it.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, like I made a machine just to run Maya, because I think Maya had like a minimum resolution um of like, I don't know, it was like VGA resolution or something like that, right? And I
Mm.
was like running below VGA resolution, and I was like, "So sorry, this will not run on it." So I'm like, "Okay, crap." So I actually made a program, or I made a machine just to run that and to run Max, and I was rendering all sorts of like crude animations and everything. That's pretty much how I got my start, and then I uh, actually later on, after like HD came out, I got into the wedding videography business, and so
Ah,
I owned my own company with a friend of mine, and we did weddings, filmed weddings, and so at the peak, I was editing like I don't know what it was, like 80 weddings, you know, like in less than a year.
wow.
Um,
I've only filmed
and
6 weddings lifetime only.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
in my mid 30s, so in the last good few years, a lot of friends got married and wanted me to film their weddings.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it was basically like torture work for me because it was so
Yeah.
many weddings, so much footage, so many DV tapes,
Oh yeah.
right? Oh my gosh. But yeah, so doing that and doing the short film basically taught me all of the essentials, right? And like gave me a good foundation on like editing and even like cinematic things and visual effects, right, to really like grow who I am right now. So yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So Mango Mango, love that name. Uh, Mango Mango
Yeah.
asks a few questions. What was the first ASMR video you've watched?
Yeah, the first one I watched was the one I discovered when I was searching for migraine remedies,
Mm-hmm.
which was the gentle whispering video,
Am I
where
the
she like
only ASMRist
specifically.
that didn't start with watching Gentle Whispering?
Okay,
The first
so
one
who
I
was
saw was
yours?
Review Tech USA.
Review Tech USA.
Yeah, and he's not even an ASMRist. He's just done a couple ASMR videos because he's a big fan.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I think you were the only one that
probably.
didn't start with Maria's videos. Um, but yeah, after watching hers, and of course all of her stuff is so like up close and personal, right? It's so like relaxing, and just you feel like you're being taken care of, right? So
Yeah. And by the
yeah.
way, the first ASMR video that Review Tech USA watched was from Gentle Whispering. So I truly am alone on this
Yes, yes, you
one.
are. Yeah.
Mango Mango also asks, what's your favorite part about your job as an ASM artist?
Well, first off, I love to, a couple things we mentioned was like I love to experiment with new and creative ways to like deliver ASMR, right? Present it in different ways. So I'm always trying to find different and creative, cool ways to do that. And then second of all, just I just love doing it because I love to help people and to hear back from anyone who needs that kind of help, especially with like anxiety, with migraines and like headaches and just pain in general, or like insomnia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are like all big things that a lot of people in the world have issues with, and it's just so comforting to me that I can actually make something that can help them do that or help them like manage that kind of thing, right? So yeah.
Definitely. And Mango Mango also asks, what are some ideas you hope to do in the future? And also, it says, love you in all caps.
Thanks, Mango. So, things I would love to do in the future. Um, I think so. Right now, I don't really have any plan. Well, I wouldn't say that. I think one things I want to do, they're not made yet, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm from the future, right? So, so things I want to do haven't been made yet. So, which is obviously like one of them to be AR technology. Um, I've done the VR thing before. I have some VR videos, done in ASMR style, but
Mhm.
but the ultimate thing that I would really love to do is to have you put on a pair of AI glasses, right? So like you can put on just some AR shades, and you'll be able to see me holographically, like in your living room or whatever. We could sit down next to each other, and I could maybe like do a sound or like tell you a story, right? Or just like whatever, right? It's like
Mhm.
it's total. It's like immersion, right? In your own space, you're comfortable, but like delivering ASMR in a totally new and unique and cool way, right?
Yeah.
And they have that right now. Like HoloLens had a really awesome demo when HoloLens actually first came out, which was a detective story where they used your real life space, mapped it out, and then the characters in the games that you interacted with would totally interact with your environment, like tell you parts of the story, or like sit down on your couch and you could sit there and you would just like listen to what they have to say about whatever the story is, and then you interact with your world, like, oh, there's a panel over here on your wall that you have to go over, and then you have to like open up virtually, right?
Hmm.
um and actually use your space, right, for the game. And I can totally see that happening for interactive, say like ASMR content, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going to be happening with VR more and with AR once that actually becomes more mainstream. Once Apple and Samsung actually release and announce um, headsets, which is expected to be later on this year. So,
Oh.
we may see that stuff start to come out, and yeah, it's going to be a whole new dimension, literally, like of of content and a whole new platform to create for. So, yeah.
Absolutely, and once this technology becomes a lot more mainstream, I could see a lot of ASMRs doing collabs where you're sitting in a room
Mhm.
or another spot out and about with a bunch of people in a certain gathering. Like I would absolutely love to do a collab where us and some other ASMRs are like at a campfire or something like that. That would be really cool. Like, because camping is one of the most relaxing kinds of outdoor
Mm.
activities. It has one of the most relaxing environments to me in general. So that would be really cool to me.
Yeah, totally. Like around a campfire with the crackling of the wood there, and just like
Exactly.
the ambient of of the woods, and yeah,
Yeah.
fox. Have we can have some like foxes coming over, and
Yeah. Yeah. Have little Mr. Tingle
you know,
Fox.
yeah, Mr. Tingle Fox.
Yeah.
What does the fox say? By the way, I don't know.
The fox
I don't
said
know what
the
does the fox say.
the fox says, check your deer diffuser system. If you're as old as we are,
Yeah.
you might get
Yes.
that. So comic strip VO, which I imagine stands for voiceovers. Comic strip. If you're watching this and I'm wrong, please let me know in the comics what comments what VO stands for. I'm curious to know. Um, ask a few questions. What inspired your aesthetic choices for your videos?
Well, for my ASMR ones, it's obviously like trying to make something that's very unique, right, with the lighting that I have. So I actually have tons of different kinds of lighting in my studio. I have a little studio in my house here that I film everything in, and yeah, it's just chock full of like all different kinds of lights, all different shapes and sizes, and light strips and everything like that. So I'm always like trying to find something cool and unique way to like position them and like orient them and make them move and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
um, uh, yeah, I really like to do that. And then for like the live streams, obviously, right? I needed to find some kind of theme, and I think just the matter of having a physical room to have to build out, that really kind of forced me to think about, hey, what am I going to put in the space to make it visually, appealing. The hard part of having this room is that everything you see is like in front of the camera. So it's really hard to like take pictures of the room to get the full effect, right? When you see those posts, it's like show off your live stream setup, right? And it's like you look at my setup this way, and it's like just it's just all like controls and stuff. So it's not like some really clean the clean setup that you see in pictures, right? It's just really messy and stuff like that.
Well,
But then
that's
like,
how it works because usually it is really messy until you take a picture to put it on Instagram. Then you're gonna clean
right,
it. It's
right,
like inviting people over. It's
right.
the kind of thing.
I
My
can't
room is a
even.
disaster everywhere. The camera's not seeing right now. By the way, you can
I,
swim in my stuff. I
I,
I have not. I
yeah,
have
like
not had time to clean it in the last week.
I'm pretty sure like anyone's photo with just like one or two things on the desk, I'm like, that just doesn't work. That's not, that's totally staged, because like I can't
Mm,
believe you only have like one or two things on your desk, and it's
yeah,
always that clean all the time. I'm like,
there's
I
no
gotta
way.
have I gotta have my tissue right here. If I gotta blow my nose, how am I gonna blow my nose if I don't have tissue right
Or
here?
cry during fanistry.
Or cry during fans, right? I know, right? Like if there's a touching moment, it's like I gotta have that, and my 5 hour energy drink. Where am I gonna put that, right? um,
So true.
yeah.
Um, If you could have any additional item for your current setup, cost, time, space being no factor, what would it be?
Yeah, so I've always had a dream if I had just infinite money, if I was rich, which I'm not, but if I was richy rich, then I would totally make like something that that YouTube did, the YouTube Spaces,
Hmm.
and I would make a YouTube Spaces, basically a building with a bunch of different sound stages in it and setups that like anybody can come in and create content. And I would really love to have like an ASMR like specific like area that would be catered towards, towards that, making ASMR content in there, that anybody can just come in and like film, and just having the room to do like really really cool stuff. I've had really big ideas in the past for some really cool and unique ASMR videos. One of them, I wanted to film myself in space, um, with zero gravity, and I got that idea from watching the movie Gravity when that came out with
That
Sandra
was a really
Bullock.
that was a really fun movie.
Yeah, that was amazing, amazing to me. I love that movie. But after watching that movie, I was like, oh my god, I gotta somehow adapt this to ASMR.
Mm.
And for the longest time, I tried to figure out, how am I gonna do it? How am I gonna film something for real, not on a green screen? So this was the first thing. It was like, no green screen. I got to do it for real. And how can I make it look like I'm in space with stars and zero gravity and my camera, and like what's going to be the scenario for making the sounds? Obviously, that didn't happen. I never made a specific space video, but I had some really awesome ideas for that, and it would be perfect to do on a soundstage if I had more room, right? There's obviously tons of
Hmm.
things you can do if you have more room, um, right? And money and like people to help you, make this kind of thing, right?
Viewers like
So
you, kind of thing.
yeah, yeah, viewers like you, yeah. So that's definitely, I always have grand plans, for that kind of thing, but again, it takes money and people, make it
Totally.
happen. So yeah.
Last question from Comic Strip. You've had some major ASMR hits. What was your reaction to getting so many views earlier on?
I think it was So I think for my channel, it never I don't think any video really exploded like right away.
Hmm.
So it was kind of like a slow build, right, over time.
Yeah.
Like just with my most popular one, the dentistry videos, right? Like those just have a steady climb of views, right? Like every day
That's
they get views and they
yeah,
get comments.
that's exactly how my most viewed video, my Bob Burgers will play. Yeah, that climbed over time too. It
Yeah.
didn't blow up in the beginning by any means. It
Yeah,
took
so
a
like I
couple
don't think
years.
any of mine really just like all of a sudden I got like a million views,
Right.
on anything like that. So nothing totally went viral overnight. So it definitely took time. So I didn't really have much, reaction or anything, to it. But like I'm just more fascinated now that
Mm.
YouTube just decides to advertise, particular videos on my channel for whatever reason, right? Who knows? Because the algorithm is a mystery, um,
Yeah.
that people keep watching and then commenting on, right? So that's more like what I feel now, is like just like surprise at like what YouTube decides to advertise for me. So
Hmm.
yeah.
So, Fibia Sabina asks, "Do you have a job besides ASMR, and if so, what is
Well, I wouldn't say like ASMR is really a job,
it?"
to me, because I feel like you know creating content is like, I love creating content. So
Hmm.
so to me it doesn't feel like a job, even though I guess it
There's
kind of
job
is.
elements to
You
it
know.
for sure.
Yeah, yeah. yeah. But yeah, definitely like besides that, you know, I'm a father to a 2.5-year-old, like a baby girl, and she's amazing, but she's definitely a handful, and yeah, I've worked in the entertainment industry for a long while, specifically in for Xbox, and um, and yeah, so I've helped shipped every Xbox
including mine.
except for the original one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I've helped make those Microsoft products better over the years, and so yeah, if you've played Xbox over the years, then I had a tiny part in making that product better. So
And it shows, I gotta say.
yeah, yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Um, Kane, California asks your opinion on almond joys.
So I've never really loved like candy that had like nuts and stuff in them. So
Interesting. I
so
can relate. I'm very selective when it comes to candy with nuts for sure.
yeah, I think the closest uh, honestly, I don't think I've ever tried an almond joy. I
They're
think
pretty good. They're
I think
pretty good, I gotta say.
the closest thing that I've probably tried to that, which I don't even know if it's even close to what an almond joy is a Snickers.
Ah, yeah. Well, yeah. Almonds and peanuts are often compared, especially in the butter variety. Because, but so I think that's a fair comparison because you got your chocolate, you got your peanut or almond, depending on which one you're going with, and the different
Yeah.
fillers that they have. Um,
Yeah.
I think Snickers definitely is, for obvious reasons. I haven't had any of them in years, but I think Snickers is a little bit better. But Almond Joy, I think, earned the joy in its name.
Yeah.
I really think so.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Carrie Jacqueline asks, how long have you been doing ASMR for?
Yeah, so I actually started, I think my first video um it was in early 2013, I believe.
It's a long
Um
time.
yeah, that's when I started making the audio only videos.
Yeah.
My first video was just a title treatment for ASMR Destiny. It was just like, here's my title. Here's my title. That's it.
What
uh,
was your first video after that?
I think it was like an ear cleaning. Um, yeah, I think it was like an ear cleaning video.
Yeah.
Um,
Mine was a
and
fluffy mic, and rather than not
a
showing my
fluffy.
face, I just didn't show my beard yet.
Oh, okay.
That's
Wait.
right. For the first 6 months of doing ASMR, I didn't have a beard, or if I did, it was like
Oh,
temporary,
okay.
and it was just a result of me getting lazy. It wasn't until around May of 2019 that I just grew out the beard and kept it permanent. Because my dad and I have a tradition where every time we travel, we don't shave until we get back.
Oh.
And I went to Florida for about a week visiting my uncle, and when I came
Mm.
back, I posted a poll on Twitter asking, should I keep the beard, shave it, or shave it and put it in an ASMR video? And an overwhelming majority said keep the beard, and I kept it ever since.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I literally can't see you without it, so
Go to my old videos and you'll see
I
how
gotta see that.
I am so baby faced. It's unreal. I literally look half my age.
Yeah. That's usually what happens. Like sometimes like this is like fully shaven down, but but most of the time I leave a little bit of stubble there, but sometimes I shave it all the way down just to
Mm-hmm.
look younger.
Yeah. Um, so yes, no, great name. Yes, no asks, how long would you continue to post ASMR?
Yeah, so I have no plans on stopping um making ASMR content. I definitely want to keep making YouTube videos at least once a week is kind of like my
Mm-hmm.
what I'm trying to do once a week on YouTube just to keep that kind of like going. And And then for live streaming, yeah, obviously I'm doing 5 times a week at 9:30 p.m. on Pacific time.
Hmm.
And then on Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm doing an ASMR game stream with my VTuber Destiny AI. So just kind of like trying a little bit different things on those days, and I love it. I love doing all of it. So I
Oh,
don't really have any plans on stopping.
I
So
really love those gaming streams with Destiny AI. I remember the first one that I tuned in was you were playing 5 dates, and when you were on a date with the vegan in the game, I
right.
gave you all the answers because I've been vegan for so long and dated a couple vegans, so like I know the ins and outs of that kind of thing.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that was so funny. The the actress was that was playing vegan in that game, she's actually in a new game, in
Really?
a new full motion video game. So it's the same style kind of game where it's video, but now it's like a murder mystery kind of game. So
Oh, interesting.
um, yeah, so I might think of it like the Murder on the Orient Express style. So you have all these characters and you have to like figure out who did it, right? So I think I'll probably play that next. I'm finishing up Horizon Forbidden West right now. I'm actually
Yeah.
trying to complete it. So for the first time, I'm not a completionist at all. So, but I love the world so much. I'm just trying to get like 100% on that. So I think I got like 20 more hours
Yeah.
left on that
And plus, to be a
game.
completionist, you got to have a beard. I don't know. I'm going by the fact that Gerard the completionist thing.
I'll have a beard by then. So
Yeah.
my beard, my beard grows out in a week. So we'll be
There
right
you
in time.
there you go. Um, Heather Michelle asks, how did you find your distinct creative style?
Yeah, I think it's basically not. It's kind of like um, making videos out of my own vision, right? I
Hmm.
think I think that's pretty much what it comes down to. Is I'm not following trends. I'm not doing what everyone else is doing,
Right.
or what YouTube wants me to do. So,
I can relate.
um,
I often subconsciously avoid things when they're trends unless I just happen to organically want to do it anyway.
yeah, yeah, totally. I One good example is there was like this mannequin challenge like years
Oh
ago
yeah, I remember that.
where
I
people just like
I
were just a mannequin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at my last day job, I worked in social media, and uh, part of my job was moderating content on the sites that I worked on. And I remember when that was going on, I had to go through a ton of those videos, and they were fun, but it also drove me crazy how repetitive it got.
Yeah, so
Same
that
same
was
thing
the
with the dancing to
yeah.
Pharrell Williams. That
Yeah.
was huge. It's a great song, but I for like 2 or 3 years after that trend died, I did everything I can to avoid that song. Again, not because it's a bad song; it's a fantastic song. I can listen to it now and enjoy it, but at that time, understand that I was it was basically the modern day "Sweet Child of Mine," which is also a great song, but overplayed to death.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like with that mannequin one though, I did it with a moving camera. So my camera was moving around doing all this stuff, and but it's obviously like super hard to kind of like hold. I'm not a super still person, so it's like
Right.
it's like you can see my hands kind of like moving a little bit, in there. But sometimes, I like to kind of like ride trends or whatever. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
just pretty much like, doing things out of my own head and not really following what everyone else is doing. So
Right. Um, so Atiofi asks, how do you feel knowing you have such high quality content while not getting the views you deserve? And how did you get into ASMR? We covered that part. But first question we didn't cover.
yeah, yeah. So pretty much like people always ask me that kind of thing is like, wow, your quality is like super crazy. Like, how come YouTube doesn't give you a million views or whatever like that? And YouTube doesn't reward people for quality.
Right.
right? It essentially comes down to is your video good for selling ad revenue,
Mm.
right? And no matter if you shoot it with, an IMAX camera or an iPhone camera, like if the iPhone camera video, is great for selling ad revenue, then that's the one that YouTube is going to promote, right? Not
Mm-hmm.
your IMAX movie. So, um, yeah, that's the thing is I don't think I really had a problem or anything with that because like I knew I was just gonna like just make my stuff as high quality as I can anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Even if I was gonna get a million hits, a million views or just, one view, right? So
Right.
it wasn't really like something that I dwelled on, right? Because again, I never expected my channel to really, like blast off in the stratosphere, right?
Right.
Um, so if it did, great, but it really, it didn't, it never did. Um,
Yeah.
so it doesn't
Doesn't
mean
mean
I'm
it
not
won't one
gonna,
day though.
yeah, yeah, maybe
There's
one
always the
day,
possibility that can, and that goes for every creator that didn't do anything that um that hurt your reputation.
yeah,
You
yeah,
keep at it. Have fun with your audience. Have fun with the community. Be a great person, and it'll very likely pick up eventually. You may not get to GB status, but that's okay. Because
yeah,
it's your adventure. Do what you love, enjoy it, and and I had a brain fart, but you get my point.
yeah, totally. I mean,
All the cliche
yeah,
stuff.
just keep doing, yeah,
It's
do
true
it,
though.
do what you like to do what you want to do, right? If the popularity comes, then it comes, right?
Exactly.
Um,
And why would you want to do something that you don't enjoy and get popular doing that? Because then you're just going to have a lot of pressure
yeah,
to just keep doing something you don't like. And who wants
right,
a life like that, you
right.
know?
Yeah, yeah, totally. So yeah, I mean, just to answer your question, it just didn't really bother me because I knew I was gonna just creating things the way I want to create it, and I wasn't gonna, make things just for the algorithm, and that's why I'm still doing it. Like I never got burned out, for making my content because I just kept making what I like doing. Yeah, that's pretty much the best advice I can give you.
Mm-hmm. So we're almost done. We have a couple more. Cherry Ixing or Cherry Crossing asks, what inspired you to start making ASMR videos? I guess we kind of covered that, but specifically, what inspired you to start making ASMR videos for YouTube?
Yeah, so um, I really because I had that personal um, because I had ASMR actually help me with my migraines um, in a personal way. Like I definitely wanted to give back to everyone else, right?
Same, but with
That's
insomnia.
yeah, that same kind of like feeling like if this can help me, then maybe if I make something, it can help someone else, right? So it's really almost like yeah, just like a passing of like paying it forward, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, paying
I
forward
feel like
what
you've
I
been
got from
spying
the
on me because I say those exact same things in those exact same words.
I don't know, maybe but yeah, it's
Maybe he's me
yeah,
from the
maybe
future and
maybe that's
had
it.
a DNA engineering happen or something.
There we go. I'm a clone.
Yeah, he is a clone.
I'm a clone of FamCam. Um, but yeah, so basically, yeah, paying it forward from what I got from General Whispering, and of course, after I started doing that, then you get people, starting to watch your stuff and getting more and more and getting your content out there and having more and more people and getting that feedback in the comments is just yeah, it's just always amazing to hear how your content helps people.
Absolutely. So last person asks 5 questions. These are from SPG. Um, First is when did you discover ASMR?
Yeah, that was back in 2013. yeah, that was basically when I discovered it, and
So you
it,
started making them later that same year.
I think I actually discovered it a little bit earlier than that, but then I started creating in early 2013. So,
Gotcha.
so yeah, I think that's the time frame there.
Yeah. Second question is, how old are you?
Well, you know, I am from the year 3000, so you can pretty much like do the math. You know, they're like over 100. I would say like 100 years old, over 100 years old. Yeah,
Yeah.
or 1,000. I don't know.
Several
When you're a
hundred.
clone, when you're a clone, there's no age.
That's
So
true.
yeah.
Solid Snake was like 42 in Guns of the Patriots, but he looked like he was in his 70s because
Oh my God. Yes.
in the Metal Gear universe,
Metal
um,
Gear.
Metal Gear. That is my second most popular video, by the way. My first Solid Snake roleplay. Um,
I love Metal Gear Solid 5. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I cannot stop playing that. But yeah, in the Metal Gear universe, clones have accelerated aging, and Solid Snake is a clone. Um,
So he has accelerated aging, so that would make him. So what age? What would he be in that?
he was born in 1972, and that game took
Oh,
place in
okay,
2014. So he was 42. Um,
gotcha. But but does that mean that he can live longer?
supposedly he died shortly after that game in the story.
Oh, he did. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
at least they implied that. They didn't
Oh,
show
okay.
it.
Natural causes.
I guess. Um, anywho, third question is: do you like making ASMR videos?
If I didn't like making videos, I probably wouldn't be here right now.
It's a
um,
fair point.
because if you don't like what you're doing, you're not gonna do it much longer. You're not
Yeah,
gonna do
and
it
he's been doing it
for
for 9 years now.
yeah. You're not
9 years.
gonna yeah. You're gonna get burned out, right? If you don't like what you're doing, you're gonna get burned out. You're gonna get tired of it. You're gonna get impatient, and you're just like you're gonna become unmotivated, you know, to
Yeah.
do it.
And that
And so
honestly,
you're
that'll happen to everybody once in a while, even if they enjoy it. But if you don't, it's gonna be more consistently that way.
yes, yeah. So I don't think yeah. So I of course I've had my ups and downs too, but generally yeah, it's always something that I've come back to, and yeah, you know, I've taken a break. I've taken a 6 month, 6 month break, one time,
Mhm.
and it was needed. So yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes you just got to take those breaks and just come back fresh and recharged, right? So yeah.
absolutely. Fourth question: do you get tingles from your ASMR videos and streams if you rewatch the VODs?
I so first off, I'd never rewatch them. I don't have to because I am editing the video. So
That's true.
um,
Do you get
and it,
tingles when editing them?
no, I don't get things editing them, but I will get the side effect of getting drowsy.
Oh yeah,
So
I've fallen asleep while editing some of my videos before. Not for a long time, but yeah, I've done that.
so you're literally like editing a video and you're like,
Yeah.
right?
And
You're
I
like,
have to
oh
go back
crap.
to the last
Oh,
cut
here
because I
comes.
didn't make any markers because I rarely make markers unless I'm trying to line things up, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually um film my content in a way that I actually almost don't have to even watch the edit.
Hmm.
Um, so I try
Like if you
to,
do a snap or a clap so that you can see a spike in the audio so you know that's where to cut.
yeah, basically I always try to go for like a single take shot. And
Oh, that takes a
and
lot of patience, especially if you're clumsy like me.
yeah, so I try to reduce the amount of time in the edit to make things go faster. So I will try to do things all in camera with one take and without any kind of interruption or anything like that. So yeah, in the edit, frequently I will not even watch the entire video. I'll just like do what I have, do what I have to do, and then export, and then maybe just like do like a spot check after I upload to YouTube.
That explains
And
why you're able to be so consistent with the amount of with the amount of cinematic quality that you got.
yeah, like it really takes, like I said, like it really takes some work just to get it to that point where it's like, okay, everything has to be perfect, and then shoot it one shot, one take, let's do it, and with no cuts, right? So,
Yeah.
um, so I definitely tried to strive for doing that just to make it easier during the edit and faster. Yeah.
Totally. And last question is, do you feel tired when you're doing videos? I certainly established that I do, but do you?
um, when I'm actually doing the video, it kind of depends which video it is that I'm actually doing. Sometimes because actually sometimes I don't use headphones when I'm filming. So I actually don't hear the sound. So if I'm not using headphones in the video, then I usually won't get tired or drowsy or anything like that. But if I'm using headphones and I hear myself doing the filming, then yeah, most likely I will get tired. Just like
Totally.
what happens on live streams.
I've actually once fell asleep and collapsed on the floor filming filming one of my videos. I can't for the life of me remember which one it was, but yeah, that happened, and I was completely sober. It was just really late at night, and
That's the fact. That's the one fact.
yeah,
right
it was
there.
really late at
Sober.
night, and it was while I was while I was at a job where I was commuting an hour and a half or more each way,
Mm,
so I was
mm.
like powering through it, and I wasn't drinking any 5 hour energy or anything like that.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So yeah, that was bound to happen at some point.
There has been some videos of mine where if you see my eyes close for more than 30 seconds, right? Then yes, I am taking a little bit of a nap in the video. So that definitely has happened where my eyes have closed in the video, but I've never really fully fell asleep. So yeah, I was able to save the edit there. So
Yeah. Aaron, thank you so much for coming on. This has been an absolute pleasure and an absolute honor. Before we go, I'd like to ask, where could everybody find you?
yeah, so like first off, it was amazing to be here to answer all these questions. Being with you here just to get to get to know you as well, better and yeah. So everyone can find me first off streaming on Twitch. You can just look for ASMR Destiny. You'll find me there. I stream 5 times a night, and then on Mondays and Tuesdays I
Five
stream
times
as
a
my
week?
or sorry, it's enough. I always say 5 times a night. I'm like five times what? 5 times a week, except for Tuesdays and Thursdays, and on Mondays and Wednesdays I'm doing my VTubing game streams then. And then on my YouTube side, you can find me there as ASMR Destiny again, and I actually have over 600 videos on there.
Dang, that's a
So
lot.
so probably something on there you can find. And also you can find me on my favorite platform, my favorite social media platform, which is Twitter. Also just look up ASMR Destiny there. So yeah.
That is my favorite social media platform as well. I love tweeting nonsense on a near daily
Yes.
basis. It's kind of my thing.
Yeah. I actually get a lot of news from Twitter. So
Me
that's why I
too.
like it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, thank you so much once again. Please go check out ASMR Destiny. If you spent 1 second watching this video, that should be enough to sell you on his stuff. But we've been recording this for nearly 2.5 hours. This
Oh
video will
wow.
definitely not be that quite that long because there's going to be some cuts, obviously, but But yeah, this has been an absolute blast. This may be the longest video in IGL history, and we have the Destiny family to thank for that. Y'all submitted a lot of
Yeah.
great questions. I'm really grateful for that, for every single one of you. It has been an absolute blast. Destiny's links will be in the description, as well as my own. Be sure to like this video, leave a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so that you won't miss another interview and discover some more of your next favorite ASMRtist. And be sure to check out my ASMR channel on YouTube and Twitch as well. I also do ASMR on both those platforms. That's what led me here. Be sure to follow ChristopherNotWalken, the creator of this podcast and former host. He is now a TikTok star. He's a really funny guy. Go follow his TikTok. You'll absolutely enjoy it. A link to that in the description down below as well. And with that, we are outie. Stay chill and have a great day or night, depending on when you're watching this. Bye.
Bye.